tough love to me, and in the world of addiction treatment that I've experienced, essentially is to approach somebody who's really struggling with substances or some behaviors in a very aggressive way, in a very almost shaming way, pointing out all of the ways that that person is hurting themselves, hurting the people around them. And for a very long time, even today, it's really been considered a necessity. Unfortunately, it also has never been demonstrated to be effective. The reason I think that tough love doesn't really stick, the reason it doesn't permeate in the way that we would want it to, is if we step back and look at what's happening to the person that's struggling with addiction. They have such a powerful internal tough love negative voice that's already communicating to them how they are failing themselves and everybody in the world around them. If tough love would work, why wouldn't that internal tough love work? Every single person I've worked with, including myself in my own experiences, has that very strong inner critic, super harsh. I mean, if you think about one of the classic tough love approaches is to let somebody know that they didn't even make it till 12 o'clock, that they couldn't even stay sober for half of a day. And then if you sit with that person, you realize that their first need to use started sometime around 7 or 8 a.m. And they've been in the battle to not use for hours. And they lost that battle. And they are so disappointed, and they had every intention of trying to do it, to prove to themselves and those people around them. Now, if they were a baseball player, they'd be in the Hall of Fame, because their batting average would be something like 1,000 home runs and 1 strikeout. But in the world of addiction, that is an absolute, not only is it a failure, it is worthy of somebody actually beating them up and calling it love. When we think about it in these terms, it's almost impossible to consider how somebody would learn from that. Where's the learning going to come? What punishment actually does is it raises your threshold for pain. So what tough love, it's safe to assume, evidence to back it up, that all tough love is going to do is make that person that's already struggled be able to endure more pain and more pain and more pain. And if you're using drugs or substances or behaviors to address pain, now you're going to need more of all of that to deal with the pain of the tough love to go on top of everything else. So clearly, I'm pretty passionate about this topic. If there's one thing that I would like to say to anybody, professional or a friend or a parent or a loved one, if you want to help somebody, start at the opposite end. Soft love, much better than tough love.